Attack on Titan Volumes 25 and 26, written and illustrated by Hajime Isayama. The Marleyan forces, after their decisive victory against the Mideast allied forces at Fort Slava, returned to Liberio, the internment zone for Eldians under Marleyan control, to a hero's welcome. Parades filled the streets, celebrating their triumph and reinforcing the propaganda that fueled their nation's war machine. However, beneath the veneer of victory, a critical vulnerability had been exposed. The emergence of anti-Titan weaponry, like the armored train that had nearly thwarted their efforts, highlighted the waning effectiveness of Titans in modern warfare. Gabi Braun, a young and fervent warrior candidate, was lauded for her bravery in destroying the train, becoming a symbol of Marleyan resilience. Meanwhile, Reiner Braun, the inheritor of the armored Titan, wrestled with the profound guilt and trauma stemming from his actions on Paradis Island. Haunted by the memories of the people he had once called comrades, he confessed to the other warrior candidates that the Eldians within the walls were not the devils Marley had portrayed them to be. This revelation deeply shook the candidates, particularly Gabi, who had been raised on a steady diet of anti-Paradise propaganda. Falco Grice, harboring a secret crush on Gabi and fearing the burden she would bear as the next inheritor of the armored Titan, desperately searched for a way to alter her seemingly predetermined fate. A flashback revealed Falco's motivations. He had become a warrior candidate not out of patriotic fervor, but to protect his older brother Colt from inheriting the Beast Titan, and thereby securing his family's elevated status within the internment zone. He formed a close bond with Colt and the other candidates, Udo, Zofia, and Gabi, and together they dreamed of a world free from the pervasive prejudice that plagued their lives. The flashback culminated in the tense selection ceremony, where each child, fueled by a mix of ambition and fear, vied for the honor and burden of inheriting one of Marley's Titans. High-ranking Marleyan officers, including Magath, the stern and calculating commander, recognized the shifting tides of global power. The world was turning against them, developing advanced weaponry to combat their once unstoppable Titans. Magath proposed a bold, albeit risky plan, a new attack on Paradis Island to reclaim the founding Titan, the ultimate power held by Eren Yeager, a power that could potentially reshape the world. However, the world had grown weary of Marley's aggressive tactics and reliance on Titans, and any overt act of war against Paradis risked sparking international condemnation and a devastating global conflict. Aware of this delicate political landscape, Magath devised a cunning strategy to sway international opinion. He orchestrated a grand festival in Liberio, inviting dignitaries and journalists from around the world. The festival, a carefully constructed spectacle, was designed not only to showcase Marley's remaining might, but also to subtly manipulate the narrative, portraying the Eldians within the walls as a dangerous threat to global peace. Willie Tybur, a charismatic and influential Eldian leader, was chosen to deliver the keynote address. His speech, a masterful blend of truth and carefully crafted propaganda, painted a chilling picture of Eren Yeager and the Eldians of Paradis Island, subtly urging the world to support Marley's impending attack. Unbeknownst to Marley, Eren Yeager had infiltrated the festival, disguised as a wounded Eldian soldier, blending seamlessly among the crowd. He listened intently to Willie Tybur's speech, his heart filled with a cold fury as he witnessed the manipulation and the growing tide of hatred directed toward his people. As Tybur concluded his manipulative speech, Eren, driven by a primal urge to protect his homeland and avenge the suffering of his people, transformed into the attack Titan. His earth-shattering roar ripped through the air, instantly shattering the carefully constructed facade of peace and plunging the festival into chaos. Eren's first target, Willie Tybur, the architect of Marley's deceitful narrative. The festival grounds became a terrifying battleground. Buildings crumbled, screams filled the air, and the carefully curated image of Marleyan strength dissolved into panic and chaos. The warrior candidates, Gabi, Falco, Udo, and Zofia, watched in horror, their indoctrinated beliefs about the island devils shattering before their eyes as they witnessed the brutal reality of Eren's attack. The Marleyan military, caught completely off guard, scrambled to respond. The Jaw Titan, with its terrifying speed and powerful jaws, and the Cart Titan, a quadrupedal titan with exceptional endurance, were deployed in a desperate attempt to contain the rampaging attack titan. They were joined by a new and formidable opponent, the Warhammer Titan, capable of manifesting weapons from hardened titan flesh, engaged Eren in a deadly duel. Despite facing overwhelming odds, Eren fought with a savage ferocity, fueled by years of pent-up rage, grief, and a fierce determination to protect his people. He tore through the Warhammer Titan's defenses, eventually consuming the Titan Shifter and inheriting its unique powers. He then turned his attention to Megath, the Marleyan commander, who watched in terror as Eren's colossal form lifted him high into the air, his fate hanging precariously in the balance. As the battle raged, the tide turned dramatically. The Survey Corps, having secretly arrived in an airship, descended upon the chaotic scene. They unleashed a devastating barrage of thunder spears, specialized explosives designed to cripple Titans, targeting the cart Titan and disrupting the Marleyan forces. The lines of battle blurred, with the recruits from Paradis Island now fighting alongside Eren, their former enemies, Reiner and the Jaw Titan, forced to defend Marley against their former comrades. Levi Ackerman, humanity's strongest soldier, engaged Zeke Yeager, the Beast Titan, in a breathtaking clash of skill and brutality. Their battle was a spectacle of speed, agility, and raw power, a duel between two of the world's most formidable warriors. The recruits, led by Levi and Hang Zhou, executed a daring escape plan, using the chaos to their advantage. They retreated to their airship, leaving a trail of destruction in their wake. Gabi, consumed by a thirst for vengeance after witnessing the death of Udo in the initial attack, managed to sneak aboard the airship as it ascended, her young heart filled with hatred and a burning desire to avenge her fallen comrade. Back on the airship, the Survey Corps tended to their wounded, their victory a bittersweet one. They had struck a decisive blow against their oppressors, but at a heavy cost. Sasha Braus, a beloved member of their squad, had been shot by Gabi in a desperate act of revenge. The sight of Sasha's lifeless body, a stark reminder of the brutality of war and the devastating consequences of hatred, left the recruits stunned and heartbroken. Eren, isolated and consumed by the weight of his actions, understood the gravity of his decision. He had initiated the attack on Liberio, unleashing the full force of his Titan powers upon unsuspecting civilians and setting in motion a chain of events that would irrevocably alter the course of the war. He knew he would be perceived as a monster by the world, but he remained resolute. He had chosen to fight, not for revenge, but for the freedom of his people, for their right to exist in a world that had relentlessly sought to destroy them. As the airship carried them back towards Paradis Island, a palpable sense of foreboding hung in the air. They had won this battle, but the war was far from over. Marley, wounded but not broken, would undoubtedly seek retribution, and the world, now fully aware of the power and the threat posed by Paradis Island, would be forced to choose a side. The recruits, burdened by the loss of their comrades and the weight of their decisions, gazed out at the horizon, uncertain of what the future held, but knowing that the fight for freedom had just begun. Later, the recruits, now branded as enemies of Marley and wanted criminals across the world, found themselves welcomed by a surprising group, volunteers from other nations who opposed Marley's oppressive regime. Among them was Zeke Yeager, Eren's half-brother, who had been secretly working towards a different kind of solution to Paradis Island's precarious situation. He had infiltrated the Marleyan government, gaining their trust and access to their technology, while simultaneously working with Paradis Island. Zeke proposed a radical and terrifying plan to use Eren's founding Titan power to activate the Rumbling, an apocalyptic event that would unleash the colossal wall Titans embedded within the walls of Paradis Island upon the world. This act of devastating force, capable of flattening the Earth and wiping out all life outside the walls, was meant to serve as the ultimate deterrent, ensuring Paradis Island's survival, albeit at the cost of global annihilation. The Rumbling, with millions of colossal Titans marching across the Earth, would be a threat unlike anything the world had ever seen. This horrific plan sparked heated debates among the recruits. Some, driven by their deep-seated hatred for Marley and a desire for revenge, saw Zeke's plan as the only way to ensure their people's safety. Others, horrified by the prospect of global genocide, desperately searched for alternative solutions. Eren, however, remained enigmatic, his true intentions shrouded in mystery, leaving his comrades to grapple with the impossible choice that lay before them, a choice that would determine not only their own fate, but the fate of the entire world. If you enjoyed this book breakdown, please consider liking this video and subscribing to get notified when we post our next breakdown.